Hello guys, my name is Christian, and today we're going to be talking about the MTHFR deficiency. There's an MTHFR gene mutation craze that's going on in the health world today, made famous by Brecka, and I just want to kind of break this down very simply. I want to say that this is not medical advice. This does not override anything that your primary care physician doctor can tell you or will tell you. If you are looking to make a change in your health or your lifestyle, whatever the case may be, run it by your doctor, of course. I am not a doctor. I am not a doctor of chiropractic yet. I am currently in chiropractic school. I've learned a great deal about this biochemistry stuff, and I find it very interesting, and I just want to kind of break it down very simply. So first, we need to start off at the gene itself and where that's at. It's in our DNA. So we have a bunch of cells in our body, right? That's an understatement. We have a bunch of cells in our body. And in these cells, we have a nucleus. And in the nucleus is where the DNA resides. And if you've ever seen a Spider-Man movie, it's like a double helix DNA, and it has like these ladder kind of steps. As you can see in this image here, there's 4 nucleotide bases, which makes up these ladder steps. We have adenine, thymine, we have cytosine, and we have guanine. And there's a sequence of these nucleotides, and based on the sequence, it can be a blueprint to a protein in our body. And proteins, there's a bunch of proteins. There's enzymes, which is the one we're going to talk about today. MTHFR is an enzyme. There's hormonal proteins or transport proteins. There's a bunch of proteins, right? But the one we're talking about today is the enzyme and MTHFR, right? So let's go ahead and get into MTHFR, right? So there's a DNA, there's a sequence of nucleotides, and it gets us the MTHFR. Now we're checking for this MTHFR, and why is this so important, right? So MTHFR stands for methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase, as you can see here. And basically what that does, it converts folic acid into its usable form in the body, which is tetrahydrofolate, right? And we use tetrahydrofolate to take homocysteine out of the blood, convert it to methionine, and go down the methylation process, which is very huge for our overall metabolic, processes in the cell and in our cardiovascular health. It can help with our immune system. It can help with our regulating mood. There's a whole bunch of things that the methylation cycle takes care of. And if we have this MTHFR deficiency, it can hinder that. So right here, here's a good image. Folic acid, which is the B9 vitamin. When we eat folic acid, which is in enriched and fortified foods like cereals, bread, chips, anything enriched or fortified, really, bagels, Pop-Tarts, all the good stuff, right? It gets reduced to dihydrofolate. It'll get reduced again into tetrahydrofolate. Now we're at methylene tetrahydrofolate. This is very simplified. There's some amino acids that donate a carbon group and whatnot, and then you get methylene tetrahydrofolate. Now we're at the gene mutation blueprint MTHFR. And what this does is going to reduce methylene tetrahydrofolate into 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate. Once we do that, we have 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate. This is so important. As you can see here, it says methylfolate supplement. What happens is once we have 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate, one of its main thing really is to take homocysteine that's in our blood out of the blood and convert it to methionine. Homocysteine, as you can see here, is an amino acid. It's a highly inflammable amino acid, and it's found in our blood, right? So if you can imagine, here's 2 blood vessels, right? Here's a blood vessel in another body that has normal homocysteine levels, and here's a blood vessel in a body that has high homocysteine levels. If we have the inability to take homocysteine out of the blood and basically break that down and convert it to methionine, that homocysteine is going to inflame the endothelial lining of the blood vessel, which is just a fancy way for saying the inner layer of the blood vessel, right? And what happens is that inner layer of the blood vessel is going to swell, or it's going to, kind of close up that diameter of the blood vessel. And here's the normal blood vessel with normal homocysteine levels. Well, what happens is when you close that diameter, the blood flow going through that blood vessel is now going to be less. It's going to be harder. So what happens is this creates a peripheral resistance in our body through our blood vessels, which leads back to our heart, which causes our heart to overwork, to overcompensate for that peripheral resistance caused by the high homocysteine levels. So this can cause hypertension. And Gary Brecka talks about this, how there's a lot of idiopathic hypertension, meaning hypertension from unknown origin. There's nothing wrong with the valves. There's no buildup of plaque. but there's a patient still having hypertension. Well, there's a possibility you could have MTHFR and your homocysteine levels could be high, and your inability to take homocysteine out and convert it to methionine and go down the methylation process is a possibility. As you can see here in the article that Gary Brecka actually leaves us, here it says, we provide evidence that 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate can bypass folate insufficiency due to MTHFR deficiency. This finding is of immense importance since a significant percentage of the population is unable to properly metabolize folate due to defects in the MTHFR enzyme. It is said that 40% of the population has this MTHFR deficiency. You may be the 40, not sure. In such cases, folate supplementation with 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate is more efficient than supplementation with folic acid. So there's people who can have a deficiency in, the B vitamin folic acid pathway, but really that it's not that more folic acid that they need. It's 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate, which bypasses that MTHFR enzyme, which gets you straight to that 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate to be able to go into that methylation process. Let's go ahead and, so once we get 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate, what it does, takes homocysteine out of the blood, converts it to methionine, and then we finally get to SAMe. Methionine interacts with another ATP to create S-adenosylmethionine, and this is very huge in the methylation process. This can help, regulate mood and help with certain mental disorders. At least that's what the article has shown. It converts norepinephrine into epinephrine. It can convert acetyl serotonin into melatonin. It does a lot of things. Guanidino acetate with SAMe, I know it's a mouthful, converts it to creatine, which is, creatine in the body for all your gym users. So it does a great deal. Again, this is just to be for informational videos, informational purposes. This is not to override anything that your doctor may tell you. Again, I am not a doctor. I am a chiropractic student. I'm currently in the process of becoming a doctor of chiropractic. Believe it or not, chiropractors do learn a great deal about this biochemistry stuff. I find it very interesting, and I know it's popular right now. I just wanted to break this down for the masses so people can kind of get a glimpse in what's going on. So thank you very much, and have a great day.